talking to you. Now who is she?
That's just Debbie from down the street.
So, what the hell she doing in there?
She was just going to house.
You ain't got to lie.
Ain't nobody lying. I didn't go to the show last night.
Yes, you did. Because my sister-in-law's baby cousin, Tracy, she told me she went to the show last night and she saw you there all hugged up with some giraffe.
I lost my home in the 2007 debacle with all those. I was one of the people that was preyed upon.
And at one point, you had to get food stamps.
Yeah, I sure did. Me and Regina Hall got food stamps. People were like, hey, ain't you the girl from Friday?
Homelessness, discrimination, and cold calls are what Paula J's career has looked like over the years. Shocking, right? With her hit movie Friday, you'd expect the actress to be soaking in the spotlight. But instead, she was blackballed from the industry she poured her heart into, at least in her version of events. Why? Did she unknowingly step on the wrong toes? Or was she simply not cut out for the cutthroat world of Hollywood? Well, buckle up, because this is Hollywood in all its glory. From standing up for herself to marrying the wrong man, here's why Paula J. Parker from Friday was blackballed in Hollywood. Paula J. Parker was born on August 19, 1969. With a dream in her eyes, a dream to make it to the big stage. So after graduating from Howard University with a fine arts degree, Paula didn't waste a second and moved to New York, spending her nights lighting up the stage in various clubs. But in reality, she was waiting for her chance to seize the spotlight, her big break. And what do you know? Destiny knocked on Paula's door in the form of the role of Joy on F. Gary Gray's Friday, and Parker made sure to grab it by the neck. And just like that, it was goodbye to the streets of Harlem and welcome to Hollywood. Paula spent her 90s gracing the screen in many short-lived shows like 1997's The Weird Al Show and the 1999 Snoops, along with supporting roles in many films, including Woo with Jada Pinkett Smith and the Frankie Lyman biography, Why Do Fools Fall in Love? You're better off pulling up her Wikipedia page because the woman was on a roll. But here's the real shocker. In August 2016, Parker released an album called Paula J. and Friends, proving that she wasn't a one-trick pony like most people thought. From all angles, Parker was on her way to the top. But in 2004, it would appear that Paula made the biggest mistake of her life when she tied the knot with Forrest Martin, the man of her dreams after meeting on the set of Hustle and Flow, who was working as an intern on the show. Now, don't get me wrong, Forrest wasn't abusive or a drug addict. He had no skeletons in the closet. He was a dream come true for Paula. The two are still married, but the calls had stopped coming in. There were no more auditions or directors knocking on her front door.
So here you are, and you're consistently working, and you're getting these roles, and these films are coming out and doing well. And then at one point, you stop working, and you start having financial issues. What led up to that whole situation?
Getting married.
In a candid interview, Parker revealed that someone high up in the industry was not a fan of her being off the market. But here's where things get really interesting. Allegedly, Parker was propositioned by a few Hollywood executives over the course of her career. But when Parker spoke her vows to the man she loved, they blacklisted her from the industry, like bitter exes. Others think Paula was kicked to the curb for pulling back the curtain on the dark side of Hollywood. In her words, Hollywood is a mafia. When you stop playing by the rules, you pay the price. Over the years, she's talked about men barging into her dressing room, making unwanted advances, 4 a.m. meetings, and a whole lot more.
Well, if you sleep with me, I'll give you this role. If you don't sleep with me, you're not getting this role.
Numerous times my entire career.
And that's not even the worst of it. According to Paula, this kind of stuff is still rampant in the industry.
Women are still facing abuse on set, and it's not going to stop until we learn how to stop it.
Now, y'all might be wondering why she didn't take her case to court. Because being denied opportunities simply because you chose to start a family is downright diabolical. Well, here's her response to that.
I'm the black girl, and I wasn't taking anyone to court because we don't do that. And we don't tell, and we suck it up, and we bide our time, and we wait for God to vindicate us.
Sure, Paula had spent a good chunk of her time working in Hollywood, but money only lasts so long. And Paula didn't make much during her years behind the camera. In an interview with Essence magazine, Paula described her financial situation during that time. She said, "I don't feel like I made much money. Only about 3% of actors in the entertainment industry can provide for themselves without getting a day job." She also said, "Actors, especially black actresses, we don't make that much money. The majority of the films that I've been in, even though they've been successful, they were independent films. Residual checks aren't what they used to be. You can ask any actor. I've gotten a residual check back for $0, and they genuinely sent the check to me in the mail." To add to her troubles, the television series she was working on in 2007 was tabled, owing to the writer's strike that year. So Parker was on the fast train to rock bottom with no more opportunities on the horizon and no millions to dip into. And when I say rock bottom, I mean a musty motel room and food stamps.
And at one point, you had to get food stamps.
Yeah, I sure did. Me and Regina Hall got food stamps. People were like, "Hey, ain't you the girl from Friday?" Oh, all right, who boo-boo. Look, stay away from the chicken or window 5. That bitch ain't shit.
During her appearance on Hollywood Divas in 2014, Parker left everyone shocked when she revealed the full extent of the consequences of being blacklisted from Hollywood. After selling her house, she had to move with her husband and her 5-year-old son into a stay hotel. When things got worse, Parker was forced to rely on Barack Obama's homelessness support program, lining up for food stamps where, believe it or not, she would run into fans. However, Paula has never been one for shame. She described it as a humbling experience. And if you're wondering where Paula's so-called Hollywood friends were during the darkest chapter of her life, well, nowhere. Paula addressed the issue in her interview with Essence magazine and said, "There were a lot of people that were very vocal about being concerned about my choices. No one bit their tongue. It pushed me farther away. I couldn't pretend to be something that I'm not. I've always been real, and I've never been able to suffer foolishness. There weren't very many people that I was able to stay in touch with because I felt uncomfortable. I felt because something was said slick or something was done as a joke, but at my or my husband's expense. I was constantly defending myself when he wasn't around or constantly defending him when he was. It just isn't worth it to me. I basically cut myself off from my old life to begin my new one." So with no money, friends, directors, or future prospects, it seemed like Paula was destined to spend the rest of her life in a motel and live on food stamps. But Paula's always been a hustler. Idlewild and Hustle and Flow are the latest projects she worked on before the big crisis. Once she realized no man with a cape was coming to save her, Paula took her future into her own hands and started working independently. She said, "I've been blackballed at least 3 times in my career, literally. Each time, I've continued to flourish because I don't sit around and wait for somebody to call me up and say I've got a job for you. After Idlewild, I had to start from scratch. I had to go to auditions with little girls that I'd never seen before if I expected to get back in the game. I had to do independent films that were paying me less than $100 a day." This is why, if you go to her IMDb page, you'll find a pretty impressive filmography. Though Paula still bears the scars of being blacklisted from the industry and being shunned by her so-called Hollywood friends, she showed resilience during a dark chapter of her life, which is why you still catch her on the big screen.
I was tired. I was really tired of being abused mentally, physically, spiritually.
She wrapped up 2023 with the film Kings of LA and has also scored a job as a brand ambassador for various companies like Uncle Funky's Daughter, cashing checks by promoting their services. So, life can throw all it wants at Paula J. Parker, but she ain't going anywhere.